How do you trust God when you don't even know what to do yourself or things are not going the way you planned? Hello everyone, my name is Moyolua, which means I praise God. You can call me Moyi, and welcome to Faith Reflection. On this episode, I'm going to be talking about trusting God in uncertain seasons, when there is no green light, where there is nothing forthcoming, when you are blank even yourself, or when you have plans and you're facing some difficulties. How do you move forward from there? I'm going to be discussing this by basically sharing my own testimony with you. And I hope that testimony is going to help you to be able to trust God even in times like this. You might be hearing some jumping sound and playing sound in the background, and that is Eden. So when I finished university, or let me say before I finished university, I started thinking about the future. And the future was so blurry, didn't even know what I was going to do with my life after school. Growing up in Nigeria, and as at that time, we know that there is no job opportunity for anybody when you are finishing school, except maybe you are a daughter or a son of a politician that knows somebody, and I'm from a family that we know no one except God. So at that point of my life, I have no idea, no clue what to do with my life. I was just hoping that maybe I'm going to start a tailoring business because I had learned how to make female wears at some point when I was in the university. That was the only thing that was giving me hope that, okay, maybe when I finish the uni, I can start a tailoring business. And even that was already saturated, and I won't lie to myself, I wasn't like the best of what I was doing, so I didn't have that confidence of I can stand out, so I compete in the market space for that, and even the passion was not really there. The future was so blurry, I didn't know what to do with my life. If you're not from Nigeria, I'll just give it a little bit of context that after finishing your university or your HND, that's your higher diploma, you will have to serve the country for like a year. They call it a National Youth Service Corps, where the government is going to post you to wherever they want in the country, wherever primary place of assignment, and they'll be giving you stipend like allowance every month. I was posted to the northern part of Nigeria, which is Kaduna, and I was posted to a secondary school. So I was just going with the flow. So when I got to my NYC, started my tailoring business again as a side hustle because the allowance was so small that I could barely take you like a week in a month. So I also started selling perfumes and cheap body sprays and perfume. I was selling it to my fellow coppers, and most of that was even sold on credit. I know you understand me if you're from Nigeria. So I was just like trying to get by to feed myself. Thinking about the future still, I had no idea. At this point of time, I would say that I had a relationship with God. I don't have the knowledge that I have right now. I wasn't listening to God as much as I can say I'm listening to God right now. So I would just pray, God, you hold my future in your hands, and I would just hope that something happens, one opportunity shows up or the other. I also started applying for some job opportunities that I saw online at that point. Nothing was forthcoming. Prior to this, when I was in the university, my sister had already started talking to me about considering to come and do a mission work. My reaction was no. I come from a family where my dad is a pastor, and I know how hard it is to do ministry. I already made up my mind that anything that comes with ministry, I'm just going to steer clear of it. I don't want to marry a pastor. I myself don't want to be involved in ministry. I want to go to church, serve God, pay my tithe, and support the ministry financially. And God gives me the capacity. So I never want to be a full-time minister. No, what we went through growing up, I don't even want to go into that details. Ministry was not attractive to me. It wasn't like a kind of thing that, is an opportunity to make money kind of thing, because that was not my experience. Because I also know that my sister is in ministry at that time, and things were not like really like flamboyant with them. Like they had a lot of testimonies, but still I wanted more in life than that. I wanted to just make money. That was everything that was in my head. I wanted to make money. How I'm going to make it is what I don't know. Ministry was not ever part of it. I declined. I didn't give her a chance to really go into the details. And even as at that time, the plan was for me to, if I said yes, to go to maybe South Africa. I wasn't even sure, or maybe Ghana. She wasn't sure of where I would start the ministry. She just wanted me to consider it. So I declined. When I was in my NYC, then she started talking to me about it again. As at that time, my sister was already in the United Kingdom. And even then she was like, okay, you can come to the UK to do your ministry. I was still saying no. It wasn't like a thing to me. I was trying to tell her, if I start this tailoring business and I have good clients, I'll be able to be okay myself and I'll be able to support our family. I just need money into this business to make it bigger. So I was just giving myself that false hope, even though inside of me, the passion for the tailoring thing wasn't really there. And I was thinking, okay, maybe if I learn more about tailoring, I can go back to tailoring school, fashion school, and learn how to make wedding dresses. And in that way, I'll be able to be getting big projects if it's a wedding dress. The story is getting too long now, so point is just that I was so uncertain about my future, and I was trying to figure it out by myself, by thinking that the things that I can do for myself could make a way for me. But everything was not just going the way I planned. The jobs I was applying to, nothing was forthcoming. So after my NYC, I packed all my Akaya, everything. I went back to my parents' house in the southwest. And when I got home, I continued my tailoring business. Things were not showing up. In fact, it got even worse. And then my sister spoke with one of my brother's friends. I moved to Ibadan. Okay, it's a bigger city and everything. Still nothing was forthcoming, and I was still stubborn about this ministry thing that I'm not going to go for it. One day I went to my older brother's house, and the wife was just telling me that, why don't you just consider this thing that your elder sister has been talking to you about? Why don't you just say yes to it? Sometimes you might not know what the future looks like. You might just know maybe just 1 year ahead of you. And in that 1 year, a lot of things could happen. God could even make the future clearer to you. So you just say yes. Some people are looking for this kind of opportunity that you are saying no to, and they don't even have it. It was just like an eye-opener for me. It was like somebody just shined that light. That was just what I needed to hear. I got home, I called my sister, and I said, okay, let's do this. Let's try and do this. Looking back now is crazy because I just said yes to it. I did not know what the future holds for me. We started the whole processing, the documentation and everything. Everything went smoothly so that I don't waste your time. My visa was approved, and I have never ever had such a divine moment with God like when I said yes to saying that I want to go for ministry. During that time, before my visa came out, I would go to bed and I would literally, it would be like somebody is playing like a podcast of encouragement in my ear. Like I'm hearing a program of somebody just pouring encouragement on me. And I will be hearing God saying to me that I'm going to go on this journey with you. Don't worry, you are not going to be alone. I'm here with you. Like it was so divine. It was like somebody is just encouraging me. And I'll wake up in the morning, I'll feel so encouraged, so pumped up about the whole journey. I remember the day I was going to have my visa, to get my visa in Lagos. I was sitting in the car that I was traveling with, and I just hear God speaking to me that this journey is going to be the journey where you are going to have your marriage, is going to be the journey you're going to have your children, and I'm going to go into this land with you. And this land is going to be like where you are meant to be, where you are supposed to be. It was divine. It was just God pouring himself into me. And I was so encouraged. And prior to this, I wasn't hearing God's voice like this. And that season, God just really showed up to me. And he kept encouraging me, even though I knew not what I was venturing into. So fast forward to when I got my visa. I was supposed to travel March 2020. And then COVID happened. Nobody could fly in or out. I was stuck in Nigeria for like another 6 months before coming to the UK. So this program I was coming to do requires me to have at least £4,000 to be able to pay for it. Because this mission school I was coming for was not free. I had to pay for my food. I had to pay for my house. I had to pay for the bills. So it was not free. And if you would normally go for a program like that, people would go because they have family support or they have their church support. I had none of that. Even to come for the flights and everything was my sister and her family and my dad that put everything together. So as at the time I was coming to the United Kingdom, I think my dad gave me like $20 or $10. That was the only money I had in my pocket, and I had to even spend it when I got laid over at Qatar because I needed something very important at the store. So I literally came to the United Kingdom with $0, £0, and I had a school of over 4,000 to pay for. But the only thing that I could just put my trust in was the word of God that God has spoken to me when I was preparing for this journey, and also the testimonies that my sister had shared, because my sister has a lot and lots and lots. Maybe one day I'm going to invite her to this channel of testimony of how God has showed up for them, like in extremely difficult situations that you would have panicked, like almost getting disappointed kind of situation that God has showed up for her. My faith was just based on her testimony and what God has told me. I had nothing. I had no money in my hand. And it was just that faith that carried me through that season. So I came to the UK with no money, and I started this program. And the details of how God provided for that program, I'm not going to bore you with in this video. Maybe another video. If you want me to share into details, I can make another video of how God paid for that program. God made, in fact, I paid before even the program finished. I didn't have to like hold the program by the time I finished the program. God showed up. Most of how God showed up, I don't even know, I don't even know the people to go and thank. It's not even about that. Okay, people that I know. Yeah, people that I know, God used them. But most of the bulk of the money that was paid are people that I don't even know their names till today, and God fend for that program. So I just want to use this story to encourage you that if you're in a season right now that things don't look clear to you, you don't have a plan, you don't know what to do, especially if you're in Nigeria or if you're in Africa that have similar situations of after school, then what's next? What do you do with your life? And you are in that kind of situation where you don't know what to do with your life. The future is blurry. You don't have any plan. And even the plans that you have are looking like a burden. You don't know how to even start. I just want to encourage you that God can be trusted. And if I look back, things that I would have done differently is that my relationship with God as at that time, like I said, wasn't as good as I am right now. So I would just encourage you to ask God, listen to God, don't rush yourself. Spend time in the place of prayer and know what God is. God can be trusted. God can be trusted. Sometimes God tells you to do things that are crazy, things that doesn't even make sense. Like, how do you leave your country to come to another man's country where the ratio of naira to pound sterling is crazy? Like, how much would my parents send to me to be able to stay in the UK in that period? They will have to sell their house, sell their property, and it still wouldn't be enough to fend for me. And God brought me to this land, and God fend for me. God paid for me. God protected me. God made sure that I was fine. And another story for another day. Even when my visa was about to expire for I think my visa would have expired in 2 or 3 weeks, God made another way for me to be able to still be in this country till this day. And it's so crazy to see that looking back, if somebody has asked me that day when I was boarding on the plane in Nigeria, that Moni, this journey you are going, when are you coming back? How is it going to look like? What is the plan for your future? How are you going to be able to stay? I would say I am blank. And people will say you're foolish when you look like you don't know what to do. But okay to have a God that can be trusted even when you look stupid to the world, that, oh, you don't have a plan for your future. Some people, they have 5 years, but they have 10 years. But it's good to have your own plan. But when you don't have plans sometimes, you can put your hope in God. You can put your trust in God. God can be trusted. And I'm a living testimony of that God can be trusted. I remember having a date with one of my female friends before coming to the United Kingdom, and she was asking, you are going to the United Kingdom with a 1-year visa. Are you coming back after that? I didn't know what to answer. I said, I don't know. Or what's your plan to stay over there? I don't know. God can be trusted, and I am a living proof of that. I'll also share testimony of how God also allowed us to be able to still be in this country even at this time, how God miraculously made everything possible. Even when people had to travel back to their home country to apply for a visa, God changed the rule for us that we can stay in the UK and reapply for the visa that we were meant to still have travel cost of going back home. And oh dear, can you please allow me to finish? I'm almost rounding up, Mr. Man. And God did it. So I'm just so grateful this morning, and I just want to share with you that you can trust God in uncertain seasons. Yes, I've now arrived. I'm still learning to trust God. There will still be situations where my faith will be shaking, but I'll just want to remember videos like this. I just want to remember testimonies like this and put my trust back into the living God. Thank you so much for watching this video to this very point. I hope it has encouraged you, and I hope to see you in the next one. If you like this video and you'd like to see more content like this, please don't forget to click on the subscribe button down below. Don't forget to share and leave a comment down. Please, let's keep the conversation going. How has God showed up for you? Please share your testimony. It could encourage somebody. You never know. Thank you, and God bless you. Bye bye.